It is an honor to be here. Of course, it would be an honor for any man born in 1706 to be anywhere today. And so it is. But I am sincere to be among people, honored to be among people dedicated to such a noble endeavor as the teaching of languages. I say this because I was not fortunate to have teachers to help me learn language. Now, I had a bit of grammar school between ages 8 and 11 and some writing lessons, but by the time I was age 13, I was an apprentice printer. Shortly after that, I left to continue my language education entirely on my own. So my appreciation of the teaching arts is very keen indeed. I'm especially eager to speak with your president, Dr. Dave McAlpin, who should be arriving right on time. It's amazing how we do that, isn't it? Come in, Mr. President.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Dr. Franklin. I have so many questions I want to ask you.
If it was about the time the chambermaid walked in one of my air baths, I can explain.
Did you say air baths?
Quite so. I rise almost early every morning. I sit in my chamber entirely without any clothes. I do this for about a half an hour or an hour, depending on the season. This is where I do my reading and writing. I believe that exposing one's skin to the open air is one of the most health-promoting practices you can adopt. The swooning of chambermaids notwithstanding.
Well, actually, Dr. Franklin, that is not what I wanted to know. I've got lots of questions for you. I hear that you speak 6 languages.
Oh, I do. I do speak 6 languages, to a greater or lesser extent. Please, sir, make yourself comfortable.
Thank you.
It appears that your staff has prepared tea for us. Huzzah.
Huzzah.
As I was explaining to your audience, I did receive rudimentary instruction in English, and ironically, it is the speaking of that language which gave me the greatest consternation. But I had to teach myself French, German, Latin, Spanish, and Italian.
Well, that's very admirable. Must have been very difficult, though. Was it worth all that effort?
Oh, yes, indeed. I would never have been able to secure the assistance of the French in our War of Independence if I had not spoken the language. In fact, my fluency in French was able me to enable and embrace the French culture. And none of you are the ladies.
Huzzah! Huzzah!
It was very important for me to learn German language. This helped me communicate with my German-speaking neighbors, of which there were many in Pennsylvania. It enabled me to start the first non-English newspaper in America. It was called the Philadelphia Zeitung, which I'm afraid soon failed.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Don't be. Dr. McAlpin, because as I said under my nom de plume for Richard, do not fear mistakes. You will know failure. Continue reaching out.
Well, that's really good and sound advice, Dr. Franklin. Maybe not as snappy as early to bed and early to rise, but certainly sound advice.
Well, poor Richard also said that Tim was so learned that he can name his horse in 9 languages. So ignorant that he pulled a counter right on.
Well, then I understand another thing is you developed a phonetic alphabet.
Yes,
Can you tell us that?
I did take quite an interest in the promotion of spelling reform. I saw it as being a great potential for English speakers everywhere. It was a way to eliminate misspelling, clarify pronunciations, and generally improve the interpersonal communications. In 1768, I wrote a scheme for a new alphabet and a reformed mode of spelling, in which I proposed a fairly accurate phonetic system for spelling English. It eliminated redundant letters and added new ones until each phonetic sound of the English language was represented by 1 letter and 1 letter only. Being a printer, I even cast my new alphabet in movable type. My friend Noah Webster, working on this dictionary, even expressed an interest. However, the effort failed due to the demands of my time in the American Revolution and in the founding of our nation. And as poor Richard said, lost time is never found again.
That's a pity. English is still a very difficult language to learn. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, that's my cell phone. But here, Dr. Franklin, This is a linguistic development that you might be interested in. It's got sensible spelling.
What an extraordinary device. Let me take a look. What am I looking at? It scarcely seems linguistic. Just a jumble of letters and numerals.
Well, that's a text message I received from my daughter. She types it on a device just like this one and sends it over the air using electricity.
The air through electricity?
Yeah.
Miraculous. But still, it's unintelligible. So just look at it. I see THX, then the numeral 4, then LST, followed by WK and D.
That means thanks for the weekend. We went to an amusement park last weekend and she was just sending me that note.
Extraordinary. Let me see. I see the capital B, the number 4. Before, I see. Brilliant. What does BTW mean?
By the way,
LOL.
laughing out loud.
I see. OMG. That's brilliant. So efficient. Perhaps there is hope for rational spelling after all.
Well, it is a living language and anything's possible.
Anything indeed. I am astounded by your devices. My head's spinning like I've eaten a toad and a half for breakfast.
Eating a toad?
Yes.
What does that mean?
No, it simply means busky, jambled, moon-eyed, that sort of thing.
Do you mean plaster? That sort of thing?
Plaster? No, I mean cherubical. Like I have the Indian vapors, halfway to Concord.
If you mean what I think you mean stewed, fried, and pickled?
No, it's more about drink than food. Lucid adults, crowfoot, cherry berry, do you see?
Well, I get it. I think you mean 3 sheets to the wind.
Precisely. As poor Richard said, good drink is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. It also brings us to such colorful expressions. So please, raise your glass to the living language.
Dr. Franklin, your contributions to our country, to language, and to our culture have been invaluable. It's been a real privilege to speak to you here today. But I understand you have a schedule to keep?
Oh, yes, in fact, I do. I have a meeting scheduled with the Continental Congress, and my carriage is double parked outside. The last time I was here, I had my carriage double parked, and when I left, a parking attendant actually put a boot on my horse. I can't tell you how embarrassing it is to ride up Market Street in a carriage with a horse with 3 shoes and a boot. So, I must be off. I understand that Congress is still hard to work with today.
Unfortunately, Doctor, you are right. It's like herding cats. It's still a contentious body.
Contentious, but that's not unfortunate. It is merely democracy in action. It has always been so. May you enjoy this beautiful city of brotherly love and carry away a treasure trove of learning. I bid you good day.